I'm gonna walk through how to use Claude Code 100% for free, doesn't cost you a penny. Now, before we do that, by the way, this is no hacking, no gimmicks, no jailbreaking. It's actually a legitimate way to use Claude Code. But before we do that, let's talk about what is Claude Code. So the famous analogy that's been going around, Claude Code is like a F1 vehicle, F1 car, and the AI model is like the engine. All we're trying to do is just swap out the engine for another engine that's just free and a little bit more flexible to what we want it to do. So there are 3 different ways we could do that. The first one's paid. The other 2 are free. And they do have some drawbacks, but they also do have a lot of benefits, like the main one being it's free. So before I dive into exactly how to use it, let's just talk about Anthropic, the one we're currently using, and how to download it. So Anthropic is pay per use. So basically you pay for credits. Claude Code is connected with an Anthropic API, and basically anytime we run it, we're basically consuming a certain amount of credits. And the better the model you use, the more accuracy you get, but also it costs a little bit more. And what does that look like? So if we open our anti-gravity, this is the coding tool that we're going to be using, and we open up a new folder, right? Let's click on desktop and new folder. We'll just call this YT demo 1. And as we open it up, we create it. Let's open up the terminal. Actually, I'll do one better. We don't actually need the terminal for this. So all you're gonna have to do is on the left-hand side, you have a marketplace, which are the 4 boxes here on the right-hand side, where you can actually download the extensions. What you would need to type in here is you need to type in Claude. And when you type in Claude, you'll see the first pop-up that comes up. Just make sure that it's by Anthropic, that's the publisher. You would just download it and follow the steps in order to download it, and then you would get just one command to run in your terminal. And for your terminal will pop up, and you'll basically run that one command, and you'll be good to go. You'll be connected with Claude. It'll automatically connect to your guys' Claude Code account. So this way, however, is paid. The other 2 free methods basically will look something along the lines of this. So the first free method that we're going to use is something called Ollama. Here are the 3 commands that you have to run, but basically the website looks something along the lines of this. So you open up the website, you figure out what model you want to use. Now, as a general rule of thumb, if you see something that says 30B, that means 30 billion parameters. And you're going to need about, the download space of this is going to cost about 15 to 18 gigabytes, which is huge. Most Macs come with about 8 gigabytes of space. So if you download this, your computer's going to end up crashing. So you're going to need a lot of space. And you want to find, ignore the ones that say cloud, but basically you're going to want to find one that is very low running. Now the problem with that is, the lower the amount of parameters this AI has, the less sophisticated it's going to be. The higher it is, the better it's going to be. That's one of the big drawbacks of this. But to be able to download it, here's basically what it looks like. So we would type in brew install Ollama, right? So open up your terminal. I'll exit out of this. And just type in brew install Ollama. And let that run using brew. Right, and then we would do Ollama serve. Right, then let's go back here. Let's figure out the exact one we want. The one I was going to download was going to be called function. Let's load that up. Okay, this is the one I want to download. This one only has 270 million parameters, which is super lightweight. It's not going to cost your computer that much in space. Right, and this is the function that you want to run. So let's go back over here, and as soon as that's done, what we want to do is we want to open up another terminal, right? Type it in, and it's going to basically begin on its own. So it already downloaded. Now, like I said, it can't do much, but here's what it can do. It could limited to assisting with tasks related to writing creative content, such as writing prompts, brainstorming, and generating text. That's about it. It can't do anything else. So it's super limited in what it could do. The second free method is going to be using something like OpenRouter. So the way OpenRouter works is OpenRouter has access to a bunch of different AI engines or AI models. And all we're going to do is instead of us having 30 different, so let's just say there are 30 different AI models, instead of us having 30 different API keys, we're just going to need one using OpenRouter. And OpenRouter looks something like this. So So open up another tab here. Oh, not this over here. Right, and it'll look basically something like this. And what you would want to do, you basically want to create an account, get yourself an API. Now, because I already have an API, I'm not going to do that. And you would basically run these commands in the terminal, and the commands are basically going to be this. Right? These are the commands. But you actually don't have to do that now because there's an extension for it, which is totally free, doesn't cost you anything. And that extension, if you go to the back to anti-gravity, that extension is called Klein. So you click on Klein, you download it, you follow the prompts, and on the left-hand side, right underneath the 4 boxes, the marketplace, the extensions, you're going to get basically a almost ready to go system to be able to use. So all you got to do is you're going to get 3 options, and you're going to pick OpenRouter. When you pick OpenRouter as an API provider, you're going to put your OpenRouter API key in there, and that looks something along the lines of this. Basically, you'll click on API key, you'll put a name on it, ignore this part, and basically no expiration. Then you'll basically create, I'll just write testing, and then you'll basically see what the API key looks like. I'm not going to use this one, obviously, hence why I'm publishing it. But I'm not going to use this one. You basically just copy this, and then you come back over to your anti-gravity and paste it down here. Now, well, what model do you want to use? So what I would do, I would go back to OpenRouter, go to the models, and find a model that's free to use. So basically you could sift through a bunch. Some of them do cost money, but there are a lot that are free. Like this one is totally free, for example. So open this up, and all you need to do, what I do is just I copy the name. I come down here to my anti-gravity, which is the one I'm using, and I type in something like this. I just copy and paste whatever model that was. The first answer is usually the right one. And then basically you click on done, and then you can begin using it right in this tab. But sometimes you hate rate limits. Depending on how many people are using it, you are not, that's it. It's basically the free model is done. But the beautiful thing is you could very simply just go into your settings panel. Instead of you going back to OpenRouter, you go to your model and just type in free, and then just mess around with some of these. I mean, there's probably about 30 different models here that you can play around with. And a lot of them do work. Maybe after a few hours, they end up kind of rate limiting you. That's fine. Use another one. Doesn't cost anything. So using something like this is fantastic for quick experiments. You don't use any tokens. You basically just could begin your work and you're done. However, if you want real work and you want the most sophisticated model, the best method still is going to be Anthropic's API. It does cost you a little bit, but that's definitely the best way to go. But OpenRouter is a great way to just get started, start experimenting with a few things. I created a website about it with it yesterday, and it was fantastic. I had no complaints about it whatsoever. So anyways, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching.